Hi, I'm Sheriff Errol Toulon Jr., and welcome to A New Perspective, a show that's going to be discussing criminal justice specifically in Suffolk County. We're going to have a broad range of topics each month so that we can bring you a new perspective on criminal justice in Suffolk County. And today I'm excited to be talking to our staff that are assigned to our START Resource Center. The person that's in charge of the entire operation, Deputy Warden Vincenzo Barone, Correction Officer Ashley West, and Correction Officer Dominic Verney. I think it will be a great episode, an exciting episode, and very informative. This vision of creating a START Resource Center for formerly incarcerated individuals when they leave the custody of our jails has been a vision of mine for over 3 years. Our resource center has grown to the point where not only are we assisting men and women leaving our Riverhead and Yaphank correctional facilities, we are helping individuals who are leaving state prison who are returning to Suffolk County, or individuals who are now residing in Suffolk County who had some justice involvement in another state. In 2020, more than 1,000 former inmates received personalized written transition plans to help them navigate post-release employment, social services, availability to find housing, and transportation to safe locations. More than 220 individuals have visited our START Resource Center to meet with our county correction officers following their period of incarceration in the county jail. Deputy Warden Barone, how long have you been with the Sheriff's Office?
So I started with the Sheriff's Office in October of 1989. So this October I'll complete 32 years.
Wow, and over those 32 years, what are some of the things that you've seen change in corrections?
I think when I first started, our biggest concerns were that basically they didn't kill each other and they didn't get out. Nowadays, what we're doing is what we should be doing. We've increased the programming. Again, another difference back then is I think the programs that we had back in 1989 were programs that we were required to have, like religious services, law library. We would get them a phone call now and then if we had to. But I think corrections should be about rehabilitation. I think that's part of our job. And we're truly addressing those issues nowadays. We're preparing these individuals for when they get out, where before, when someone was discharged, they would leave out the back door with a clear plastic bag full of their belongings. We didn't know where they were going, if they had a ride. Obviously, if they had some kind of mental health issue or something like that, or if they were in danger to themselves or someone in the community, we just didn't let them out the back door. We would address that. But for the most part, they would just leave.
Right, so basically it was just, they come in one door and then out the other, and there was nothing in between to really assist them while they were incarcerated.
Pretty much, as primitive as it may sound today, it was almost just like warehousing people, They were accused of committing a crime. They stayed in here until they had their day in court. If they were sentenced, they spent their time with us if it was county time. And they spent most of the day watching TV and playing cards, and there wasn't a heck of a lot of programming or rehabilitation going on in those days.
So now you lead a unit called the START Resource Center in Yaphank, even though it encompasses both the Riverhead and Yaphank correctional facilities. And so tell me how you think that integrates with the Sheriff's Office in the community.
It's a great program. I'm very proud to lead the program. Not only does the START Resource Center prepare the individuals leaving our custody to re-enter the community successfully, but we obviously work for the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office. The jail is located in Suffolk County. Most of the people that are in the jail are going to return back to our communities. They're going to live in my neighborhood, your neighborhood. So my question is, who would you rather I put back out in that community? The person that originally came into the jail, doing the things that he did or she did to get them into jail in the first place, Would you rather I work with this individual and put them back into the community with a plan?
What are some of the biggest challenges you face with the START Resource Center?
If you live on Long Island, you know that if you don't own a vehicle, transportation can be quite a challenge. Employment is another challenge. And then if you don't have transportation, how are you getting to work? Identification. A lot of them don't have identification, and if they do, there's fines attached to their license, so now they don't have a license, then they can't drive. Housing is also a very, very big issue we have. We're grateful that we work with DSS. However, we need more permanent housing situations for employment needs as well.
Some of the biggest challenges we have working with the formerly incarcerated is breaking that barrier between law enforcement and an incarcerated individual. Getting them comfortable with working with us sometimes is a huge challenge.
How do you follow up with them, ensure there's some progress? You know, how does that work?
Anytime somebody comes into the resource center or they're interviewed, we get a callback number, a follow-up number. So it could be their aunt, their cousin, their mother, father, anybody in the household that can reach out to them if they're not around. So we will do occasional phone calls to make sure they're still going to their job, they're still following up on their appointments. We also work with a lot of the agencies. They will let us know, they'll contact us and let us know if the individual is still showing up to work and showing up to their appointments.
One of our challenges also is keeping in touch with them because they don't have a working cell phone, or they don't have an email, or they don't have stable living situation. So it's hard to get in touch with them. Sometimes they give us a phone number and it's disconnected. So hopefully through our service providers, we can keep in touch with them.
You work with many, many service providers. How do you think that coexistence works?
We have a great group. I think we all pick up on different things, and we can help in different ways.
I'm very proud to announce that we have partnered with Spin the Yard to extend our reach to the wine dance community, and this satellite location was truly made possible through a $40,000 contribution from AT&T, and the idea of developing satellite locations came from our community advisory board within the sheriff's office. Spin the Yard was founded by William Certain and his wife Renita, who have a passion for helping formerly incarcerated men and women get in on their feet after incarceration.
What we do is we get in touch with the STAR program. We find out about who's coming home, what it needs to succeed, what are their family needs, and also what were their problems before they got incarcerated that led them into getting incarcerated.
The way the community has responded, do you feel it's been successful?
I think it's working very well. I can tell you we've been operating for a little over a year, and we've had over 200 visits to the resource center of individuals not only leaving our custody, which the majority of them come from, but also walk-ins. I think through our community involvement that we get referrals from the community who would have had no other options if it wasn't for us.
How do you think it's affecting recidivism?
Positively. I think that when they get interviewed by an officer and they start that personal relationship and they know that we're there to help, they leave with sort of with a plan and maybe a little bit more confidence that, they'll be able to accomplish some of these things that they didn't think they were able to accomplish before. And let's say somebody is hungry or somebody needs money or somebody needs clothing and they're gonna go maybe shoplift or something like that, they know they can come to us and we will provide them with food for about 2 weeks, we'll provide them with clothing. And I think that helps them not commit, the same maybe crime that they might have, initially to end up in jail.
Not so many years ago, I got out with nowhere to go and just one thing to do, and that was just a still, or I didn't know anything to do with myself. I didn't have a goal. You know, START program they helped me set a goal from when I wake up of something to do instead of just waking up and thinking something negative to do. They told me how to plan my day and to evolve.
If there's a gap from the time they leave here until they see one of these providers on the outside, I've heard many a times, "Oh, I'm gonna do what you told me to do, but I just want one night, I just wanna hang out with my friends again." Doesn't end well most of the time. So what we do to try to avoid that is transport them directly from the facility right over to their provider so they don't have that gap. They pick it up right away, and we found that works much, much better.
When someone's incarcerated and they leave jail or prison, in my 30 years of experience, they just go out and they usually return back to the same communities, to the same vices that have led them to some criminogenic behavior. With the START Resource Center, now we're providing resources in the communities they're returning back to. Why it's extremely important to have satellite offices is because these areas where they're returning back to, they now have some place to go to locally. They don't have to find transportation to get to Yaphank to my staff.
Spin the Yard is in the middle. They call it the belly of the beast. We're in the middle of the town where we work with the parole office, we work with the sheriff department, we work with so many different entities that these guys used to run away from. Now they're coming towards it. And this is the best thing possible.
Having community correction officers relieve some of the anxiety and stress that somebody has when they're incarcerated, because we go in there as soon as they're incarcerated. So the belief is reentry starts the first day of incarceration. So by going in there and letting the individual know there's somebody advocating for them and on my side and putting things together for me, I think relieves some of the stress and anxiety. And then when they get out, not having a job, transportation, housing, knowing that somebody's putting all that together for them relieves a lot of the barriers that they face, because getting out of a correctional facility and having nowhere to go and it's got to be very difficult. So we break all those barriers and hopefully integrate them successfully.
Going home and not knowing which way to go, and especially right now with the corona, START helped me migrate through everything. Especially I'm a little illiterate on computers and things like that, so they also helped me with the computer and job searching as well before I came home. So I was a little more aware of where to go for job searching at, as well as I can always go back to the START program and use their computers to find jobs.
Formerly incarcerated, they want to be around someone who understands them totally, and they may fall, and I want to be there to pick them up if they do fall. A support group is more important that's been there with them, because we know the ins and the outs, the doors shut on them. And our support groups are very helpful to the mental health part of this program. And we sit down once a week, and what we do is we go over all the things that these guys had, like how their week went.
I go to the Spin the Yard program in the morning sometime, and I sit down and I'll be able to speak to, the counselors that's there, and it helps me because, sometimes you be needing direction. Everybody needs somebody to talk to, because it's easy to talk to somebody negative and go do negative things. So I always needed somebody to speak to, and Spin the Yard as well as START helps me.
So if you think about this, you have formerly incarcerated individuals that are returning back to seek help from correction officers or the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office, so that there's some success. And that's the thing that we tend to forget. Many individuals that leave either jail or prison do not have a scarlet letter on them. You will never know if someone that's seated next to you in a movie theater, now that movie theaters will be open soon, or in front of you or behind you in the supermarket, just got out of a jail or prison. And why not try to help them? Why not try to empower them to reclaim their lives?
It's showing the community that the officers want success. They don't want to just incarcerate people. They want success. And this is what the START program and Spin the Yard is creating. I see the impact on the community because I have mothers and I have grandmothers and I have fathers coming to spin the yard, and they're introducing themselves and is creating a better relationship with sheriff departments, corrections, police departments, and everything. And we're gonna create an entity from one end of Suffolk County to the other end of Suffolk County, and Spin the Yard is just gonna spin the whole Suffolk County.
We do plan on opening other satellites. We're looking to partner with other communities. And so while this is the first, we hope that this is a model that we can open up others. So I hope you enjoyed our show, and I hope you join us next month that we bring a new perspective to the criminal justice system in Suffolk County. Thank you again.